We are live. I am your host, as always, Preston Bailey. With me is Cam Vieira. Like and subscribe to the channel right now. Hit that damn subscribe button. I'm fired up today. And not only that, my shirt, don't ever wear a blue shirt, blue and green, and for some reason, dark blue and dark. I know about green. I've worn this shirt before, but I've never had this kind of crazy reaction. So if this bothers you, then just hit the subscribe button and don't have a panic attack unless it's
I'll have to remember this for draft night.
Yeah. So dark blue, stay away from dark blue and stay away from, because green, even though it's obviously blue, but the camera treats blue very similar to green. If it was green, it would be terrible. It would look like that. It would be horrible.
You look like you're just matching what was behind you.
Right. It would look like a bad MTV music video from the 1980s. It would look horrible. But today, this is a positive show. We're going to get into NFL franchise tags. We invited a great sports writer on for Newsweek. I don't think he's going to be able to make it in, which is fine. But here is his article. I'm basing a lot of this off his article, which is a fantastic article. He breaks everything down. So I want to set the stage here. For those that don't understand what the franchise is, people think they understand what the franchise is, but they really don't know what the franchise is. To give you the simple Cliff Notes version, I'm going to use my team as the Bucs. Shaq Barrett, a year ago, was coming off a 19.5 sack, an unbelievable season, close to Defensive Player of the Year, led the league in sacks, absolutely phenomenal. They were not ready to give him $20, $21 million a year. They were not ready to give him a $100 million deal. So what did they do? He got roughly about $15 million in change for a one-year franchise tag. It gives you up to a year to franchise him to sign a long-term deal. Also, what the franchise tag is, you are paid at least the top 5 for your position.
Right,
okay,
it's the average of the top 5. Right.
You're paid 5 of the average. So what that means in English is this. Let's say for the sake of this conversation, let's just say that Von Miller is getting $20 million. Let's say Aaron Donald's getting $20 million. Shaq Barrett, if he was franchised again, I believe would be getting about $17.5 to $18 million because it's the second year. We're not going to go too deep here. We're not going to get into the you get 120% raise the second year. We're not going to get into all that. We're going to keep it for math purposes and following purposes. We're going to keep it simple. So to start off, the people in Tampa Bay, everybody in Tampa Bay wants to sign Chris Godwin. I don't think it's realistic for Chris Godwin to sign a 5-year, $100+ million deal, which is the going rate. Guys like Odell Beckham have signed similar deals. Guys like Julio Jones have signed similar deals. Guys like Amari Cooper have signed similar deals. So the going rate for an elite number 1 receiver is 5 years at $100+ million. What are your thoughts on that, Cam?
Correct. I do think he'd get that kind of contract if he got to the market, given the year he had with Brady. Obviously, all the way to the Super Bowl.
You're right. If he got to the market, somebody would give him 5 years, $100 million. Now, what people are speculating in Tampa is that the Buccaneers are going to franchise him, which means he would get roughly about $16.5 million, which I agree with that. If I was the Bucs, I would absolutely franchise him at $16.5 million. What are your thoughts, Cam?
I wouldn't. I focus on.
Well, I know you say that because you don't want the Bucs to re-sign him.
No, that's not.
You want your team to re-sign him.
No, that's not it at all. I don't think the Patriots will be in his. The Patriots aren't going to pay that kind of contract for him. No way. That's not it at all. I think that your focus needs to be on keeping that defense intact. I think the guys like David and Barrett are higher priorities for your franchise tag than Chris Godwin.
I don't know why you say it like that. Look, I would not be. I'm just saying that right now we're a win team now. Number one.
There's one reason to do it for Godwin, and that's if Brady wants it. That's if Brady wants it.
Of course Brady wants it because Chris Godwin can run every route on the receiver tree. Look, now, so here is how I stand with Chris Godwin. I think he's a great player. I think he's very valuable. I think he's extremely valuable to Brady. He's extremely valuable in our system. He's a team guy. Now, I did just see a tweet he sent out earlier today and on Instagram. He loves the Bucs. He wants to return however he wants to get paid.
Of course he does.
So, realistically, Jacksonville, Miami, maybe New England, other teams are going to throw the kitchen sink at him. He's going to get a $100 million offer from somebody. So I don't think it's realistic. The reason why I say franchise him, $16.5 million in today's world is a bargain for an elite receiver. In today's world, for 1 year. You get to roll him out for one more year. You get the best of both worlds for one more year. That is my point. He's elite. He's young. He's healthy. He checks every box. Now, would I give him a 5-year, $100 million deal? No. I'd say we wish you the best. Good luck to you. But for 1 year franchise, a chance to go back to back, yes, I would do it. Sure. Shaq Barrett. Do I want Shaq Barrett back? Yes, I do. I put the odds of them re-signing Shaq Barrett at less than 10%. I think the Bucs have a better chance of signing Chris Godwin than Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett is great. Go ahead. What?
He took a well below market deal to come there his first year. And he had a great year, obviously, led the league in sacks, and then he got tagged. Right. So now he wants to go. And this is the thing with the franchise tag.
Shaq is not going to go another year at a discount, which is what the franchise tag is. Because when you're signing the 5-year deal, you're getting your 80, 90, $100 million deal. That's guaranteed for life. Okay, if you get hit by, God forbid, we just saw what happened to Tiger Woods. That had nothing to do with his sport. If Shaq Barrett dries off of a cliff or Godwin dries off of a cliff, they're going to get that $100 million if they get that contract.
Which is why the players hate the franchise tag. They feel like they have no job security. So
they don't have job security.
Correct.
It's totally in the team's best interest.
Correct. It's 100% right. Which is what the franchise tag causes a lot of tension between the player and the team.
It does cause a lot of attention. You're right. It causes. Look. The problem with I understand why they did it. I understand why the owners created the franchise tag because it gives the owners more leverage. And the fact that nobody wants to admit, and the reason why I think it's a great idea for Chris Godwin is injury prone. He 100% is injury prone. If I was the Jaguars, I would most certainly not give him $100 million. If I was Dallas, I would not give him $100 million. If I was not, I would. I'm saying if I'm the general manager, I would not give him $100 million because he got 2 catches for 9 yards in the Super Bowl, which is terrible. He broke his finger. I understand that. But towards the end of the season, he was injured last year. He missed the last 2 games the year before when he had his great breakout season. I
know what team would, if I were the GM, I know what team I would make him number 1 priority. It's not New England. It's Baltimore.
I would agree because he can run every route. I haven't heard that. I have not heard that around the channels, and that's a good one. That is a good one because he runs every route in the route tree. He needs quick passes from Lamar Jackson. I actually think he would be worth it for them. They would be worth it to overpay for that team. He would be worth overpaying, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So like and subscribe, and Cam, you're gonna so to answer your question, Lavonte David, yes. If my choice is Lavonte David or Chris Godwin for the future, if I have to choose, I choose David. Okay, obviously Devin White and these other guys are signing a contract, but I'm just saying. In fact, let me bring up the guys before we move on to the next team. I want to bring up the guys here. You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, so here are the guys. Number 1, here's what we got. We have 7 guys. Gronk.
No, you're not franchising tagging. No way.
No. Okay, no. I'm talking about bringing him back.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, on a 1 or 2 year deal, yes.
I would sign Gronk to a 1-year deal. I would want him to take a discount off the $10 million. $10 million was a lot, but it was worth it. Again, value is very fluid, okay? Tom Brady signed for a 2-year, $50 million deal. If we pay Tom Brady $50 million a year and fit it under the cap, for our team, it was worth it.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm not saying just because he won the Super Bowl. Won the Super Bowl is one point, but it's what he brought. Chris Godwin even said this. Chris Godwin even said it's the culture that he brought. It's the extra level of confidence. He goes,
it's the leadership.
He goes, everybody's optimistic and hopes and prays they can win. With Tom Brady, they knew
you can. Yes. He gives you a chance.
So I want to go through these 7 guys with the Bucs. So Gronk, I think the Bucs are going to re-sign him to a team-friendly deal. I'm going to put a check by that. Antonio Brown.
Depends on the length.
Okay. I'm not clearly you're having a hard time with this.
I said depends.
Antonio Brown is going to get a team-friendly deal, which means a 1 or 2 year deal and a bargain.
Yes.
Okay, he's not going to get $1 or $2 million, but he's going to get a bargain deal.
Correct.
Number 3, Leonard Fournette.
No, I let him go.
I would re-sign Leonard Fournette. Well, you're not a fan of Leonard Fournette anyway. Why would you?
I'm not a fan of Leonard Fournette. It's the fact that I'm not a fan of paying running backs.
Okay, so you want to have no running backs on your team? You already have no running backs on your team.
You still get Jones, and you find someone else for us. You don't give that guy a big. You don't give running backs big money. That's a firm.
Okay, well, okay. I think you're misunderstanding the point of this game. The point
You're
of
in
this
an
game,
all-in mode. I know you're in all-in.
No, we're not in all-in mode. Here's my point. We're in all-in mode, but that's not where I'm getting at. Okay, I'm going to have to reset this because the game is going off the rails here. I know we're playing the franchise game, but my question, I'm going to ask you a better question. The question is, would you re-sign Gronk? The answer is yes at a bargain. The second guy I'm asking, AB, would you re-sign him? Yes, at a bargain. I would not pay either AB or Gronk top 5, top 6 of the market.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm talking about we can get the guys I've mentioned. Gronk is the most valuable to Tampa Bay with
Correct.
Brady. AB is the most valuable to Tampa Bay. Leonard Fournette is also the most valuable to Tampa Bay.
Correct.
Because
he's not taking a discount.
Leonard Fournette's not taking a discount? What team? Okay, let's go through this. What team do you think is going to pay $8 or $9 or $10 million to Leonard Fournette? Derrick Henry got $10 million, and he led the league in rushing, and he's been okay. How much are they going to? You think they're going to pay him? How much? $8 or $9 million? Indy. They've already got Marlon Mack, and they got a great offensive line.
Correct. I'm just looking at teams here that could be in the running back market. But teams like that, I just don't think that you break the bank for that position.
Let me. You're having a hard time hearing me. I'm not saying all these guys I mentioned. Not one guy have I said break the bank for.
But Fournette's not going to take a discount. He hasn't gotten his big payday yet. He just finished his.
And he won't get a big payday. Cam, he was out of the. He is a top 4 running back as far as where he was drafted. He's
Correct.
An elite. He isn't whether you like him or not. He's an elite running back. He's top 10, top 11 running. He is elite.
I don't dispute that. He is.
And he was cut, and nobody picked him up but Tampa Bay, and we needed a running back.
Correct.
We needed a veteran running back. We needed a goal line back. We needed an all-around. He checked every box you could check.
Yes.
I like Kareem Hunt as a player. Leonard Fournette is a better football player than Kareem Hunt.
I agree.
Aaron Jones for Green Bay. I just read an article today that he might get either franchised or sign a big deal with Indianapolis. And I'm like, another guy that's injury prone, I would much rather have Leonard Fournette than Aaron Jones.
I'm not disputing anything you're saying. But so give me.
He's not going to get a big payday from anybody, is my point. These guys, nobody's going to pay Gronk big money. Nobody's going to pay AB big money. And nobody's going to pay Leonard Fournette. When I mean big money, I'm talking about top 7 or 8 of the market, top 7 or 8 at their position.
You don't think Leonard Fournette can get – if he gets to the market, he won't be paid top 7 or 8 in his position?
No, I do not. No.
I respectfully disagree.
That doesn't even make any sense. Let me explain it to you. Leonard Fournette was cut. Nobody signed him but Tampa Bay. We signed him for the bare bones league minimum.
Right. He went to Tampa Bay to win.
No, he didn't go to Tampa Bay to win. Listen to me. You're having a hard time. He played for Jacksonville Jaguars a year ago.
You don't need to keep repeating yourself. I know. He was cut by the Jaguars and he went to
was cut.
Yes.
You keep acting.
He asked out because
slow down. No, you're way wrong. You could not be more wrong if you tried. He didn't ask out. He was cut because they did not want him. That is what I'm telling you. He is difficult. He is argumentative, much like you're being. They cut him. Nobody wanted him for the bare bone. Nobody. 31 teams that could have used another good running back did not want him. Tampa Bay got him on the cheap, and he got lucky that he was a big part of our team. So, no, Indy is not going to pay him $9 or $10 million a year. He is not going to get paid more than Derrick Henry, who's at 10. He's definitely not going to get paid more than Christian McCaffrey at 16. He's definitely not going to get paid more than Le'Veon Bell at 14. So he's nowhere near that route at all. That's the point.
I guess the root here is that your perception of discount and mine are different. I don't think he's going to get those contracts, but I think he'll get $8
Tell me the number.
million.
Tell me how much money he's going to get then.
I could see him getting somewhere between $8 or $9 million a year.
Absolutely not. No chance in hell. I think you need to call Leonard Fournette right now and be his agent. If you think he's going to get $8 or $9 million, I'm telling Leonard Fournette, fire your agent right now and hire Cam. If you can get Leonard Fournette $9 or $10 million right now, for 1 year, take it. Because I guarantee you he will be lucky to get half of that.
You want to bet a Speedway soda on this when I'm down there for the draft?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll do a Speedway soda. I say he will get more than $8 million a year.
No. You no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, let me.
Let's move on.
No, well, it's so bizarre that you're taking this such a weird angle. Okay, he's not going to get paid more than Derrick Henry. Okay, Derrick Henry's at $12.5 million. Joe Mixon is at $12 million. So we've named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're basically like 6 or 7. The 8th highest paid running back is $8.4 million. Kenyon Drake.
Yes. That's a comparable contract. They're comparable players. Yes, he will get that.
He will not get more than Kenyon Drake. Melvin Gordon, $8 million. He will not get more than Melvin Gordon. You're having a hard time. We're going to have to move on because you're really having a hard time.
No, I get what you're saying.
No, you don't get what I'm saying.
We just disagree.
Dude, no, you don't. Yeah, you're dead wrong. You're having a hard time. Okay?
Because we have a difference of opinion, and we'll let the market.
You're having a hard time understanding this. Okay. Well, is Antonio Brown a better receiver than Amari Cooper?
Yes.
Guess how much money Amari Cooper is going to make next year? Over $20 million.
I'm not surprised.
You pick the amount that you want to lose. Antonio Brown will be lucky to get half of that. That is my point. Leonard Fournette is in a worse position than Antonio Brown is, arguably.
Does Leonard Fournette has the baggage Antonio Brown has?
Not as bad, but it's comparable. Leonard Fournette is difficult. Leonard Fournette was cut by the Jaguars. The Jaguars cut him, and nobody picked him up. New England did. Pittsburgh could have probably won a playoff game had they picked up Leonard Fournette. Pittsburgh had a legit team that was competitive. They weren't start off 11-0, and they did not sign him.
All right, let's go to the next guy. Come on.
Yeah, you're having a hard time. You failed this segment miserably. No, Leonard Fournette is not going to get $8 or $9 million. Realistically, the most money Leonard Fournette is probably going to get, best case scenario, would be $4 or $5 million, and that's for 1 year. Nobody is going to sign.
Go to the next guy. I think we've said our piece on this.
No, I know, but we need to be. You struggled with this segment. Leonard Fournette is a great player. I want Leonard Fournette back. I'm part of the Leonard Fournette fan club. What you're not understanding is value. We'll explain that in a later segment. Number 4, Chris Godwin. Go ahead.
Again, depends on the figure. I wouldn't franchise him if I were you guys. I think he's going to get overpaid. I think your focus should be on other ways on the offense, like the tight end position. Keep Brown. You already have Evans. Frankly, he fell out of favor with Brady by the playoffs. He was throwing more to Brown and Evans. He was throwing more to Scotty Miller. I think you should let Godwin go. I wouldn't franchise him. And he's going to get overpaid.
Again, we're 0 for 4. You're 0 for 4 in this. I would totally franchise him for $16.5 million. You get him for 1 more year. You have a chance to win another Super Bowl. So you slightly overpay him for 1 year, in my opinion. But yeah, I would franchise him, and you could definitely fit under the cap. There might be a team, Jacksonville, the other teams of Indy, all these other teams will probably overpay him. But if you franchise him, it doesn't matter.
Correct.
That's the point. So, yes. So I would re-sign all 4 of those guys. Number 5, Shaq Barrett. I would try to sign Shaq Barrett, but odds are
he's gone.
He's gone. Because I would not even pay Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett is a great player. He has 2 Super Bowls. Jacksonville.
He wants to get paid. Right.
He wants to get paid. Jacksonville, Indy, whatever the team is.
Whatever team makes him the highest offer, he's going. He's going.
Maybe the worst team. Jacksonville, Detroit, doesn't matter. He's going to take $80 or $90 million to go to Detroit. So I see Shaq Barrett is probably the odd man out. Okay. Levante David, would you pick?
That's who I would franchise for Tampa.
Okay. Now, I wouldn't franchise him.
All right, let's hear it.
I would pay him the money. Whatever the money is that he feels is fair, that's what I would pay him. I would pay certain players. You say, you're great, you're young, you check every box, we're going to pay you your money. I never felt last year that Shaq Barrett was the checking all the box guy, pay the money. I said about Shaq Barrett, I said, let's franchise him, see what happens. He got 9 sacks this last year. He played great. He played fantastic in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. So you could say regular season, did he earn it? No. But playoffs and Super Bowl, you could make that argument that he's a big-time performer, and he played great for Denver. But regarding Lavonte David, he's young, he's healthy. I would pay him the money. And then lastly, Ndamukong Suh.
He's gone.
I'm so glad you're not our GM. Clearly, there's a lot of hatred there. You don't want the team to repeat.
No, it's got nothing to do with that. He's going to get – I'm just telling you what I think the market's going to be. He's going to get a good pay offer, I think.
Oh, he isn't. I wish you understood basic – this is the problem when doing a salary cap show with somebody that has no understanding about business. Look, Leonard Fournette got barely $1 million last year. Nobody else wanted him. Okay, let me give you an example. Le'Veon Bell was cut by the Jets.
Correct.
The Chiefs needed another running back. They picked him up, but hardly anybody else wanted Le'Veon Bell.
Correct.
So my point with Ndamukong Suh, I expect Ndamukong Suh to re-sign for one more year at roughly $7 or $8 million, which a guy of his stature is a discount.
Okay.
What team? Tell me what team is going to offer him $10 or $15 million a year?
Green Bay.
And he wants to go to Green Bay?
If he gets paid. Dallas.
Dallas, maybe. I just don't think. Why didn't all these other teams line up a year ago to pay? The Bucs offered him $8 million, which was towards the top end of his offers.
But here's the thing. Last year he took the discount because he knew that Tampa. He's won now. These guys have now. You have to factor in what the Patriots dealt with. After these guys win, now it's time for them to get paid. So now he's made his money. Obviously, he was a high-paid defensive tackle in Miami and in LA, and now obviously in Tampa and even in Detroit. But at this stage of his career, he has his championship. He's getting up there in age. He probably has 2 or 3 years left at most. He probably wants to make the last paycheck of his career.
Okay, you can want that. You're a 33-year-old D tackle, Cam.
With attitude issues.
Teams are not going to line up, I'm telling you.
Okay, let's get to some other teams. You ready?
Please.
So I have a list here. I know you can't read it, but it's from PFF. It listed the most likely franchise player on each team, and I will say and out front that they said Cleveland, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and Kansas City all will franchise. There's no obvious candidate. But every other team, they gave a candidate for the potential franchise tag. So I'll say the name, and you just tell me yes or no.
Okay, well, first of all, you're all over the place, so slow down. Let's start with the Bucs and the Bucs division. Do you have it by division, or how do you have it?
I have it alphabetical order by city. That's how they wrote it. But okay.
Start with the top team then, because this is okay.
Top team is Arizona, and they have them franchising Hanson Reddick, the linebacker.
Okay. Let's start with Tampa.
Okay. Tampa, they have Chris Godwin.
I agree. So the experts agrees with me, so let's circle that. Okay. Let's skip to the Patriots.
Joe Thuney, the offensive lineman.
You know, I read multiple reports that they may do that, and I've heard from multiple reports that they should not do that.
I agree. They shouldn't.
If you franchise a guard, you're an idiot organization.
I don't know why they did it last year. I really don't.
Because they had to give the money to somebody. That's why. Okay, who's next from Arizona? Name the team first, and we'll decide if we want to get it. Arizona sucks. Detroit sucks. Okay, so who's next?
Atlanta, Keanu Neal, the safety.
Okay, next.
Baltimore, Yannick Ngakoue.
Next.
Buffalo, Darrell Williams.
How about we do this? How about we pick a guy or a team that's at least mildly interesting? So let's skip a couple teams.
Okay, Allen Robinson, Chicago.
Well, I think they should franchise him because he's their best player besides Khalil Mack.
Aaron Jones, Green Bay.
Absolutely not. I saw that report today that I said There is not a chance in hell. Listen, to get back to the running back thing with Leonard Fournette, there's not a chance in hell that Aaron Jones is franchised. Look, I just had these are the top 5 salaries: 16, 15, 15, 13, 12. Let's call it 13 and a half. Is that fair?
Yes.
There's not a chance in hell Aaron Jones gets $13.5 million. There's not a chance in hell. Jamal Williams is almost as good as he is, and their big running back, A.J. Dillon, they went to him more later. So,
Correct.
no. I think if they franchise him in Green Bay, they might as well just forfeit. If they franchise Aaron Jones in Green Bay, just trade Aaron Rodgers right now
To San Francisco.
and forfeit, because that would just be stupid. Keep going.
Let's see. Interesting name here. Nelson Aguilar, Vegas.
I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. You're not paying him $16-17 million. No.
They have the Giants franchising Leonard Williams for the 2nd straight year.
That's probably their best choice. Yeah.
I got 3 more here that jump out at me. Alejandro Villanueva for Pittsburgh, the offensive lineman.
That's probably, that's interesting. He's getting older, but that's probably a good one.
And there's 2 more here. One's obvious. Dak Prescott.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's
and
go to
and Hunter Henry for the Chargers.
Okay, let's go with first of all with the Chargers. Let's talk about the Chargers. Let's save Dak Prescott. We haven't got to Dak Prescott. He's what the hashtag is, and he's what the thumbnail is.
And he's the most obvious candidate, correct?
Now, here's my opinion on Hunter Henry. The Chargers probably should franchise Hunter Henry because he does have injury issues. So it would be smart to franchise him, see if he catches 75, 80 balls, 800 or 900 yards, 9 or 10 TDs, plus you got a young quarterback. So I think it is probably smart to franchise him. But if I was him, I would do everything I could to not get franchised and try to get his money elsewhere.
No, I agree. Because I'm also being biased here because this is the guy I want my team to get more than anybody else.
You want to talk about no's, all the no's you gave me, you have a 0% chance of getting Hunter Henry. 0%.
We have to address quarterback first, obviously. And don't even get me started on that. Doesn't feel like anything's happening.
He said without a chance he goes to New England because he's not well with Stidham and Cam Newton and all this other thing.
Well, we'll see what happens at quarterback.
They're not getting anybody at quarterback. There's only 2 good quarterbacks realistically available. Number 1 is Deshaun Watson. That's not happening, okay, for New England. And number 2, Dak Prescott. That's also not happening.
Correct.
And the Cowboys most certainly should not franchise Dak Prescott. You think they should?
Yes, I do.
You're an idiot. But keep going. Tell me why.
Thanks for the compliment. Because if he gets to market, he will get a contract similar to Jared Goff and Carson Wentz's. And they'll lose him. If he gets to market, they'll lose him. There's no 2 ways about it. And you saw last year they went out and he went out and they fell apart. I know they were only 8-8 the year before, but they were 4 this year, 6-10, 5.
Okay, let me help you out here. If they franchise him this year, he's gone
at the end of next year.
Yes.
It gives you 6 more months to negotiate.
No. You what you do is you re-sign him to whatever deal you can work out. And yes, does that mean 36, 37, 38 million dollars, whatever the number is? Yes. You re-sign him to a 4-year, close to $160 million deal, and that's what you sign him. And then you can trade him or do whatever you want.
I was just going to ask you that. Would you franchise him and trade him if you were Dallas?
I would, if I could franchise him and trade him. I think they should. My personal opinion is, if I run the team, I would hold on to Dak.
Now that hasn't happened. A quarterback hasn't been franchised and subsequently traded since Matt Castle was traded from the Patriots to the Chiefs. The Patriots franchised him and they traded him to the Chiefs.
Here is the problem. I think both parties are being stupid. I think Dallas is being stupid. I think Dak is being equally stupid.
I agree. I think Dak's got a bad agent.
I think his agent. I would fire his agent twice. Now,
and rip up his last paycheck.
Rip it up. Now, here's the thing. He keeps talking about L.A. and New York. Look, the Dallas market is a great market. He's worldwide known in Dallas.
Because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys. He's got everything.
You can buy $1.5 million, $2 million house in Dallas and live like a king. If you go to a $2 million house in LA is a 500 square foot studio apartment in LA or San Francisco, okay, in Silicon Valley. So he has got to use his brain here. Somebody has got to sit him down, and Dallas needs to sit down. They need to get in a room. They need to stop it with this franchise nonsense, because all that does is pisses people off.
Create tension. Correct.
It creates unnecessary tension, because when you're franchising somebody,
you're saying, I don't really believe in you.
You're saying, I don't believe in you. You're saying, I want to rent you for a year. Okay. Let's say if your wife says, hey, we should get you, your fiance says, we should get married. You go, no, I want to rent you for a year to see how that goes. See how well that's going to go.
Oh, and also you can't choose where you live too.
Right. Right. So no, they should not franchise him. If the choice is franchise or leave, I choose franchise. But what I would do if I was Dallas, I would re-sign him to a 4-year, $160 million deal. You're just not getting discounts on quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are not given discounts. Okay. No. Dak is arguably within the realm of Deshaun Watson. You could say you like Deshaun Watson more. He's within that realm. He's very close to Watson. So no, I would re-sign him for 4 years.
No, I agree. I'm just saying the tag gives you 6 months of exclusive negotiations. That's only my point. No one else can talk to him.
But nobody's going to give you 2 firsts and whatever else with a guy of Dak Prescott's caliber without a long-term contract. Right. Coming off an injury.
Yeah.
Right.
So this thing with Dak, now look, we've said this time and time again. We've talked about this ever since this contract issue came up a couple of years ago. I just think he wants out. That's what this feels like. Cousins in Washington all over again. Cousins wanted out. He played out those 2 years under the tag, and then he left for Minnesota. It just feels like there's some disconnect there between Dak and the Joneses, or Dak and the coaches, or something. It just feels because when you remember the reports last year as the deadline was coming near that he wanted like $40 million a year after Mahomes. I
heard that. Yes.
Yeah, that means he's not being serious. And when you're not serious in a negotiation, that means you really don't want to deal with the guy you're talking to. So I think deep down, I just think there's a chance he wants out. And I don't know why. Maybe, like you said, maybe he just wants the life of luxury in LA or the life of luxury in New York.
Well, the life of luxury, he's going to have $160 million and he can buy whatever house he wants. But the point is, he's going to have to buy an $8 or $9 or $10 million house in LA to have the same $1 million house in Dallas for $2 million. So
no, I agree.
The traffic sucks in LA. The taxes suck in LA. The traffic sucks in New York, and the taxes suck in New York. So he has not thought this.
But you're rubbing elbows with celebrities. And that's important to guys like that. That's important to guys like that.
Does he not? Can he not figure out how to get on a plane? Does he not? Can he not figure out how to go to whatever nightclub or sushi restaurant in LA? Get on a plane.
But also, here's this: of the quarterback, a quarterback of his, give me a comparable quarterback to him.
Just did. Deshaun Watson is comparable.
But again, do we see Deshaun Watson on these Danning commercials and these Campbell's commercials?
No, he doesn't have any commercials.
But Dak has these endorsements because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys. There's no bigger luxury position in sports. You could be a quarterback the caliber of I don't know who, Vinny Testaverde, and if you play for the Cowboys, that you have some endorsements.
What are you, 50 years old? I mean, you don't even know who Vinny Testaverde is. Look. Here is the point. I have a feeling that Dallas feels that Dak should take a discount. I would agree that he should take a discount. And what I mean by that is Dak may feel he's worth $38 million plus. A $5 million discount is $33 million in the Carson Wentz category. He should take a discount because he's getting $12 to $15 million a year plus in endorsements. Dan Yogurt, Gatorade, Nike.
And you just brought up the LA teams. Those two teams are set at quarterback. There's no openings there. Between the Rams just gave up a lion's share for Matt Stafford, and the Chargers have arguably the best young quarterback in the league. So there's no openings there. Maybe there is in New York. We'll see what happens with Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold. But there's not any openings in LA. So if he wants either the New York LA market, he's got to go to New York.
Well, this is my point. There's not that many openings where he wants to go.
And you think, and you've said many times,
sign the deal. Just sign the damn deal. If it's
in your personal opinion, this is just your personal opinion. You think both LA and New York are overrated as cities, correct?
They are super overrated. I just told you why they're overrated.
Brutal traffic, brutal taxes. One place you have earthquakes, the other you have blizzards. Correct.
It's really simple. Yeah, Dallas is a great city. Houston's a great city. It's just it's just weird. I just the whole situation is terrible. If Dallas was, first of all, I do not like the way Dallas has handled the last 2 seasons. I thought they were dumb for signing Ezekiel Elliott to the deal he did. I thought they were dumb for signing DeMarcus Lawrence, and I thought they were dumb for signing Amari Cooper. I thought those were horrific deals.
Well, you see, if we're going to get into this with Dallas, they're never going to be able to have a true great team as long as Jerry Jones is butting in, and he's butted in ever since he's owned the team.
Right.
He pushed Jimmy Johnson out, as we all know. I know this sounds crazy, and I've said this before, but Dallas needs somebody like a Bill Belichick. They need someone to come in and run that team who knows what they're doing.
And Bill Belichick knows what he's doing?
At least as a coach. I don't know about as a GM, but at least as a coach.
Like N'Keal Harry, Sony Michel, those guys?
As a coach, not as a GM.
Was he the coach? Was he the Patriots coach last year?
Yes, but he had no talent. But
they won 7 games. They won 7 games without Tom Brady.
Yeah, he had no talent.
I know that folks in New England worship Bill Belichick, and they think he walks on water. I'm here to tell you, Bill Belichick cannot evaluate. He is a great coach. He cannot evaluate talent. He cannot. He does not.
No, I agree with you. And don't include me in the lump of people that thinks he walks on water. There's one person on this call that wanted to fire him 3 years ago, and it's not you.
Well, I can't say that was the smartest take you've had. Now, to bring up Ezekiel Elliott, if there's one positive I'll say about Ezekiel Elliott, but this is also goes to my point as far as running backs. Despite being drafted in 2016, Ezekiel Elliott has the most rushing yards in the NFL since 2014. What that means in English, he is minus 2 seasons less than everybody else in that time frame, and he still has the most rushing yards at 6,384. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 in 5 years.
And this includes a year he was suspended for 6 games.
Correct. So he's been suspended, and he has 2 years, so basically 2.5 years. Now, he has led the league in rushing multiple times, and he was in the tops the other years. Todd Gurley is number 2 at 6,082 yards as far as rushing yards the last 7 years. The third leading rusher at a little over 6,000 is Frank Gore.
That's volume, yeah.
Number 4 is Mark Ingram, and number 5 is Derrick Henry.
There we go.
Does anybody – okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I want to see if I can bring up the top running back free agents. Do you have the list of all the free agents or no?
Just the franchise candidates.
Top-rated NFL running backs. Let's see, free agents. Let's see. Let's do it's 2021 here. Let's take a look. Bring this up. Top free agents at position. Here we go. Let's bring up running backs. Okay. Not only that, with Dak Prescott, last thing I'm going to say, the second best quarterback as far as free agents goes is Mitchell Trubisky.
Correct. It's a big drop-off.
And the third is Jameis Winston. So I would strongly encourage Dallas to figure it out.
I agree.
And, okay, now according to this, the number 1 running back is Aaron Jones.
Well, I disagree. I think Leonard Fournette's better than him.
Okay. Tell me how I'm telling you what PFF is saying.
I know.
Tell me how much Aaron Jones is going to sign for, since you seem to have a strong opinion on running backs.
Aaron Jones, I could see getting paid around $9 or $10 million a year.
Okay, let's give him $10 million. Okay. Number 2 running back is Kenyon Drake. How much money is he going to get? Is he going to get more than 10? Is he going to get more than $10 million?
No.
More than $8 million?
Yes.
$9 million?
Yes.
Okay. So Aaron Jones, Kenyon Drake, Chris Carson's the third best running back according to this. How much is he going to get? Where is he going to get?
I disagree with this list entirely.
The point is not if you agree with the list. The point is pick the money.
Chris Carson, 6 or 7 million.
Okay, let's give him 6. Okay. Number 4 is Philip Lindsay, Denver.
I think he is so overrated.
Well, you have some very strong opinions, Cam.
On the market, he'll get 6 or 7, but I wouldn't give him more than 4.
Okay, number 5, according to this list, is Leonard Fournette.
I think he's the best on this list. Again, I see him getting 8 or 9.
Okay, so he gets 8 or 9. Aaron Jones gets 10. Drake gets 9. Carson gets. Let's say that he is the second or third running back. I think Aaron Jones could get 10 million a year, but I think that would be generous. I think Kenyon Drake could get 9 million, but again, I think that's generous as well. I don't think Chris Carson is going to get $1 over 7 million. I don't think Philip Lindsay is going to get $1 over 7 million. And these other guys on this list, lower tier guys, lower tier. James White's lower tier. Tevin Coleman. I'm simply saying I don't think any – I think there might be 1 or 2 running backs that get $8 or $9 million.
Okay. We'll see.
What does that mean we'll see?
We'll see what happens. We've said our piece.
I know, but you're having a hard time with the running backs because obviously the scout – you're totally disagreeing with the scouts.
Correct.
I'm telling you what the scouts have said. I agree that Leonard Fournette is definitely better than Chris Carson, is definitely better than Lindsay, and he's definitely better than Aaron Jones. But Aaron Jones –
You told me before the season you think he's better than Saquon Barkley.
yeah, that's not even a hot take. How many rushing yards does Saquon Barkley have this year?
He got hurt in the second game. I don't know.
Did he get hurt the year before?
Yes.
How many more years in a row do you want Saquon Barkley to get hurt before people stop telling me how great he is? 4 years?
He
5 years?
He suffers from your condition. I know.
No, your condition. He suffers from your condition. I know you have you're having a rough show today. This is one of your worst shows.
I don't mean you have it. I'm saying you invented it. You're Dr.
I invented it, but you have it. Now,
oh, thanks.
To get back to what I was saying here is let's look at this. Let's dive into Leonard Fournette. It doesn't matter. You have to understand value.
The market dictates the value.
Market. Here we go. What is this? Is this breaking? Wait a minute. Okay. Leonard Fournette agreed to a 1-year, $2 million deal worth up to $3.5 million.
Correct.
So, which is not a great contract by NFL standards.
Correct.
So, what makes you think he's going to get a triple the race?
Based off the postseason he had. I'm not saying I'd do it because I don't believe in paying running backs. I wouldn't have given Ezekiel Elliott that contract. I don't believe in paying running backs, period. Look at the return. Carolina's already regretting the McCaffrey contract. They're trying to trade him in the Deshaun Watson deal. That's why
I don't think he's going to get that money. Aaron Jones will probably get the most money of any of these backs.
Probably. I just don't. I'm with you. It's a philosophy of mine. I wouldn't. If I were you guys, I wouldn't pay Leonard Fournette. I wouldn't pay him. I frankly, unless it was another deal like the one he just got, which it won't be.
Okay, Aaron Jones, the year before, he had almost 1,100 yards. He had 19 touchdowns. Last year, he had over 1,100 yards rushing. He had almost 400 yards receiving. He had 11 touchdowns. So he's a touchdown machine. He's a yardage machine.
Correct.
He also played in a great system. Everybody knows that.
There's one running back in the league that I think is worth his contract. One.
Who's that? Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and you want to know why? He's underpaid.
Correct.
Derrick Henry is the only running back in the league that is substantially underpaid. Substantially.
Like I think he can create on his own. He could play behind not a bad offensive line, but just an average one, he'd still be phenomenal. He can create on his own. And not a lot of running backs can do that.
Let's make a bet right now.
Let's hear it.
I will bet you that Leonard Fournette gets less than $6 million a year. If he does,
we just did that. It was on the.
I know. That's what we went through the numbers. And my point is this: odds are he might only sign a 1-year deal. Teams are not. There will not be one team that gives him a 3-year, $8 million. There will not be one team that gives him 3-year, $22 million or more. Not one team.
You could be right.
Like and subscribe to this channel. If you're angry, because that we're gonna edit that. We're gonna edit that little motion out. I don't know what that was all about. What was that, Cam? Was that
I
your
stretched my wrist. I just put my hand and stretched my arm.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, dear Lord.